Alright, alright. You notice the CP Productions, right?
The Gospel of Judas is a secret document that reveals the true relationship between Jesus and Judas, one of his 12 disciples. It was written by a follower of Judas, who claimed to have received his teachings from him. The Gospel was hidden for centuries, until it was discovered in a cave in Egypt in the 1970s. It was translated and published in 2006 by the National Geographic Society. What is the Gospel of Judas? The Gospel follows Judas, a loyal disciple of Jesus, is entrusted a secret mission, to help Jesus escape from his earthly body and return to the divine realm. Judas learns from Jesus the true nature of the cosmos and the transcendent God, as well as the origin and destiny of humankind. Judas also discovers that the other apostles are ignorant of Jesus's true teachings and are misled by a false God who created the material world. Judas faces many challenges and temptations along the way, such as the hostility of the Jewish authorities, the jealousy of the other disciples, and the allure of worldly riches and pleasures. He also struggles with his own doubts and fears, wondering if he is doing the right thing or betraying his master. Judas eventually decides to follow through with his mission and delivers Jesus to the Roman soldiers for crucifixion, knowing that this is what Jesus wants him to do. However, he is misunderstood and hated by everyone, including his fellow disciples, who accuse him of being a traitor. The story ends with Judas witnessing the resurrection of Jesus, who appears to him in a glorious form and thanks him for his service. Jesus tells Judas that he has fulfilled his role as the true friend and follower of Christ, and that he will join him in the heavenly kingdom. Judas feels a surge of joy and peace, knowing that he has completed his task and that he is loved by his master. He then dies peacefully, leaving behind a gospel that reveals his story and Jesus's secret teachings. The gospel begins with an introduction that states, the secret account of the revelation that Jesus spoke in conversation with Judas Iscariot during a week 3 days before he celebrated Passover. It then narrates a series of dialogues between Jesus and Judas, in which Jesus reveals to him the mysteries of the cosmos and the divine realm. The revelation of who Jesus is. Jesus tells Judas that he is the only one among his disciples who understands his true message. He says that he came from the immortal realm of Barbelo, the first emanation of the transcendent God. He says that he is not the son of the Creator God, who is called Saklis or Yaldabaoth, but of the invisible Spirit. He says that he came to teach people how to escape from the prison of matter and return to their spiritual origin. Judas Iscariot was one of the 12 disciples of Jesus Christ, but he was also a secret follower of a different gospel. He had received a vision from a mysterious figure who called himself the true God, and who revealed to him the secrets of creation and the destiny of mankind. This figure told Judas that he was the chosen one, the only one who could fulfill the prophecy and liberate Jesus from his fleshly prison. He also told Judas that the other disciples were ignorant and misled by the false God who created this world of suffering and sin. Judas believed this vision and kept it hidden from the others. He felt superior and enlightened, but also lonely and conflicted. He loved Jesus as his master and friend, but he also wanted to obey the true God and his gospel. He waited for a sign, a moment when he could act according to his secret mission. That moment came on the night of the Last Supper, when Jesus gathered his disciples for a final meal before his arrest. Judas knew that this was his chance to betray Jesus and hand him over to the authorities, as the true God had instructed him. He also knew that Jesus was aware of his plan, but did not stop him or expose him. Instead, Jesus gave him a piece of bread dipped in wine, and said, "What you are about to do, do quickly." Judas took the bread and left the room, feeling a mix of emotions. He felt sad, guilty, excited, nervous, and hopeful. He thought he was doing the right thing, the noble thing, the divine thing. He thought he was fulfilling his destiny and saving his master. He did not realize that he was being deceived by a false vision, a false gospel, and a false God. He did not realize that he was about to commit the greatest sin in history. He did not realize that he was about to lose everything. The mission. Jesus also tells Judas about his own mission and destiny. He says that he came to show people the way to the immortal realm, but that they did not recognize him or listen to him. He says that he chose 12 disciples to spread his message, but that they all turned against him and followed a false god. He says that he will be betrayed by one of them, who will hand him over to his enemies. He says that this is part of his plan, because he wants to shed his material body and return to his spiritual source. He says that Judas is the one who will betray him, but that he does this out of love and obedience. He says that Judas is the greatest among his disciples, because he will sacrifice him and free him from his flesh. The Gospel ends with a description of how Judas carried out his task. It says that Judas went to the chief priests and elders, who were plotting to kill Jesus. It says that they gave him money for his service, and that he agreed to lead them to Jesus at night. It says that Judas came with a crowd of soldiers and priests to the place where Jesus was praying with his disciples. It says that Judas kissed Jesus on the cheek and said, "Greetings, Rabbi." It says that Jesus said to him, "Friend, do what you are here to do." It says that then they seized Jesus and took him away. The Gospel does not mention what happened to Judas after his betrayal. It does not say if he regretted his action or tried to return the money. It does not say if he killed himself or died in another way. It leaves his fate unknown and mysterious. The Gospel presents a different view of Judas than the one found in the canonical Gospels. It portrays him as a faithful friend and follower of Jesus, who helped him accomplish his divine purpose. It portrays him as a hero and a saint, who alone knew Jesus' secret teachings. It portrays him as a Gnostic, who sought knowledge and salvation through gnosis.
The Gospel of Judas. Introduction. This is the secret message of judgment Jesus spoke with Judas Iscariot over a period of 8 days, 3 days before he celebrated Passover. When he appeared on earth, he did signs and great wonders for the salvation of humanity. Some walked in the way of righteousness, but others walked in their transgression, so the 12 disciples were called. He started to tell them about the mysteries beyond the world and what would happen at the end. Often he didn't reveal himself to his disciples, but you'd find him in their midst as a child. Jesus criticizes the disciples. One day he was with his disciples in Judea. He found them sitting together practicing their piety. When he came up to his disciples, sitting together praying over the bread, the disciples said to him, "Master, why are you laughing at our prayer? What have we done? This is what's right." He answered and said to them, "I'm not laughing at you. You're not doing this because you want to, but because through this your God will be praised." They said, "Master, you are the Son of our God." Jesus said to them, "How do you know me? Truly, I say to you, no generation of the people among you will know me." When his disciples heard this, they started to get angry and furious and started to curse him in their hearts. But when Jesus noticed their ignorance, he said to them, "Why are you letting your anger trouble you? Has your God within you and his stars become angry with you? If any of you is strong enough among humans to bring out the perfect humanity, stand up and face me." All of them said, "We're strong enough." But their spirits weren't brave enough to stand before him, except Judas Iscariot. He was able to stand before him, but he couldn't look him in the eye, so he looked away. Judas said to him, "I know who you are and where you've come from. You've come from the immortal realm of Barbello, and I'm not worthy to utter the name of the one who sent you." Then Jesus, knowing that he was thinking about what's exalted, said to him, "Come away from the others and I'll tell you the mysteries of the kingdom. Not so that you'll go there, but you'll grieve much. Because someone else will replace you to complete the 12 elements before their God." Judas said to him, "When will you tell me these things, and when will the great day of light dawn for the generation?" But when he said these things, Jesus left him. Another generation. The next morning, he appeared to his disciples. And they said to him, "Master, where did you go and what did you do when you left us?" Jesus said to them, "I went to another great and holy generation." His disciples said to him, "Lord, what great generation is better and holier than us, that's not in these realms?" Now when Jesus heard this, he laughed. He said to them, "Why are you wondering in your hearts about the strong and holy generation? Truly I say to you, no one born of this realm will see that generation. No army of angels from the stars will rule over it, and no person of mortal birth will be able to join it, because that generation doesn't come from, that has become, the generation of the people among them is from the generation of the great people, the powerful authorities who, nor the powers, those by which you rule." When his disciples heard these things, they were each troubled in their spirit. They couldn't say a thing. The disciples' vision. Another day Jesus came up to them. They said to him, "Master, we've seen you in a dream, because we had great dreams last night." But Jesus said, "Why, hidden yourselves?" And they said, "We saw a great house, with a great altar in it, and 12 people, we'd say they were priests, and a name. And a crowd of people was waiting at the altar, until the priests finished receiving the offerings. We kept waiting too." Jesus said, "What were they like?" And they said, "Some fast for 2 weeks. Others sacrifice their own children, others their wives, praising and humbling themselves among each other. Others sleep with men, others murder, yet others commit many sins and do criminal things. And the people standing before the altar invoke your name. And in all their sacrificing, they fill the altar with their offerings." When they said this, they fell silent because they were troubled. Jesus said to them, "Why are you troubled? Truly I say to you, all the priests standing before that altar invoke my name. And, again, I say to you, my name has been written on this house of the generations of the stars by the human generations. And they have shamefully planted fruitless trees in my name." Jesus said to them, "You're the ones receiving the offerings on the altar you've seen. That's the God you serve, and you're the 12 people you've seen. And the animals you saw brought in to be sacrificed are the crowd you lead astray before that altar. Your minister will stand up and use my name like that, and the generations of the pious will be loyal to him. After him, another person will present those who sleep around, and another those who murder children, and another those who sleep with men, and those who fast, and the rest of impurity, crime, and error. And those who say, we're equal to the angels, they're the stars that finish everything. It's been said to the human generations, look, God has accepted your sacrifice from the hands of priests, that is, the minister of error. But the Lord who commands is the Lord over everything. On the last day, they'll be found guilty." Jesus said to them, "Stop sacrificing animals. You've offered them over the altar, over your stars with your angels where they've already been completed. So let them become with you and let them become clear." His disciples said to him, "Cleanse us from our sins that we've committed through the deceit of the angels." Jesus said to them, "It's not possible, nor can a fountain quench the fire of the entire inhabited world. Nor can cities well satisfy all the generations, except the great, stable one. A single lamp won't illuminate all the realms, except the second generation, nor can a baker feed all creation under heaven." And, when the disciples heard these things, they said to him, "Master, help us and save us." Jesus said to them, "Stop struggling against me. Each one of you has his own star, and, of the star's will, what belongs to it. I wasn't sent to the corruptible generation, but to the strong and incorruptible generation, because no enemy has ruled over that generation, nor any of the stars. Truly I say to you, the pillar of fire will fall quickly, and that generation won't be moved by the stars.
Alright. Alright. You notice the CP Productions, right?